Calling all retro gamers.
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all
retro gamers!
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Calling All Retro Gamers, your bi-weekly source for two guys hanging out and talking about retro stuff. One of them, Rich Haywood here from Bacon Ice Cream Productions, and of course, it's Ed, RetroKillDashNine. What's going on, man?
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, hanging in. I'm barely hanging in after the week I've had and the device I'm using, actually. Like, barely hanging in here.
Right. I know it's weird seeing you from different
machine. Yeah, I'm on an old machine that I had to grab. I had to grab from the depths and bring it back. So, let's see here. Lloyd R. Jim actually was in the chat a little bit ago. Hey, what's going on, man? Welcome on in. And we're hanging in. How are you? What are you doing this week? How's it going?
Good. Finally able to wear the shirt and all that. Happy that it's it's Halloween. Yeah. It's Halloween retro masks. I have some more of them. Some more retro masks.
Yeah. Rocking the Freddy shirt. Come on, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Nice, very cool.
But yeah, it's been a long week. I'm happy that I took off Monday, and Tuesday and all that. So love Halloween.
Very cool.
I like Halloween more than Christmas.
I can't wait for it because I hope that it's like we just went through what could be considered like a medical massacre in the family.
Oh wow!
From last Tuesday to today, even we just got banged up with a stomach bug or whatever. Just ran through the entire family. Actually, on Saturday during the Evercast, it was tapping the shoulder of my poor wife. It was like, "Oh, you're next," because Henry had it all week. We thought everything was all good, everyone was fine, everything was over. Boy, we got 1 day reprieve. We got fired at Friday, and then Saturday it's like, nope. Now Danae's not feeling so well, and then Danae was real bad on Sunday. She was feeling fine on Monday. Douglas, and it's like, oh man. And then I'm just looking down the barrel. It's like, well, it's gonna hit me. And
well, that's what I'm laughing is I've had the same thing happen with my kiddo. She gets sick from someone from school. Either I get it or my wife gets it. And we was like, which one of us is it going to be for a few days? And it affects people differently. Like we can lay one of us out. One of it's like, it's not a.
Oh, I got KO'd on Tuesday. I didn't even get up out of bed.
Oh no!
Like I got up, I went downstairs. I was up for maybe an hour. Took medicine. I had a glass of water or something like that, and then my body was just like, nope, get upstairs. And I did. I went upstairs, and that was it. I don't remember what happened the rest of the day until around I think it was like 8:30, right before Douglas went to bed. He opened the door. He woke me up, and he's like, "Mommy made you a grilled cheese," and I was like, "Thanks, buddy." It was really cool. It was neat. And then I did half the grilled cheese, and then I passed out again. It's wild. It's just wild. It's a wild time. But you know what else is a wild time?
What?
Whoops. There it is.
Oh yeah.
You got summoned. It's always a wild time when that happens.
You know what? It really helps if I actually. Oh no, I was scrolling to music. I'm like, why are all these songs? Okay. All right, so here we go. Y'all like this one.
And I ever took you this night. Oh yeah.
Very good.
There,
that's
I did the sound effect.
That's quality. Is that a sneak preview of the Evercast? Is that gonna be happening?
Yeah. I also fixed the other one. So you know what's okay. To go off on a little bit of a nerd side rant. So that sound effect, I just didn't want to use any whip because I wanted the one specific for the commercials. Well, I downloaded a few of them, and when you take it into Odyssey and you normalize it, you can actually hear a lot of static because those were put from VHS.
Yeah.
So through the magic of Adobe Premiere Pro, I was able just to remove noise and then turn it up. So I wanted that sound, but yeah.
Yeah, remove noise is a really cool tool in Premiere.
Yeah,
you can do all sorts of fun stuff in Premiere, and I didn't even know you could do until years later. Very cool stuff.
So yeah, I fixed the other one. I added that one and actually made little changes, like you don't hear like the rinker crackle anymore. So yeah, Crow, I took your suggestion.
Nice, very cool. So, other than me just being laid up and the family just being KO'd all week, and my computer being KO'd because it's not even in this building, it's actually still on the bench somewhere getting repaired. The fun thing is I did get to play a little bit of retro games, and I wanted to mention it here because we mentioned Atari Mania's imminent release, or sometimes lack thereof, because that Thursday night that we talked was supposed to be the launch day of Atari Mania, and people could not buy it on Atari VCS. That got corrected over the weekend. So it actually took over, I want to say it was over 48 hours for them to correct that so that people could actually buy it on VCS. But it did get corrected. It was on the server side. It was on the not Atari side. It was on the payment side of things. So whatever the third party processor, they were asleep at the wheel, and they weren't getting their stuff done. But I was able to obtain Atari Mania and play that for a little bit. My early impressions, because I don't have a computer to make a solid video about this, I will say this: it is very fun. I am very intrigued at the future of the game because I really like. I'm a sucker for like WarioWare kind of thing, and that's basically this game is WarioWare, but what if everything was Atari? And I'm like, sold. Let's go, right? However, the first set of levels is 10 levels, ends in a boss, and for some, probably older, maybe not as reflexive as we once were, it is probably one of the most frustrating 5 minutes of gameplay that I've experienced in a long time. Like, I keep getting to the end. I know exactly what I need to do. I've watched videos where people are like, oh yeah, you just go here, you do this, you go here, you go here, you go here, you go here, you're done. I was like, oh cool. All right, well, if that guy can do it, I'd probably do it. Nope, can't do it. It's like, I understand that it's supposed to like give you that nugget, but this is the one time where I'll give it up to Nintendo and their and how they kind of like give you breadcrumbs for their gameplay. A lot of times on any first party title, the game will ease you in by allowing you to feel the kind of fun of playing it, right? So the first level is like, even the boss, not so hard because you need to learn that it's going to get more difficult. And then that first encounter, like maybe it's you just have to do the thing that was easy in the first half. Maybe you have to do that twice, right? Instead of it ramping up that difficulty, right? So without spoiling too much, you have to run through or dodge, like I think it's 3 things or 4 things to pick up an item and then come back the other way. But as soon as you pick up the item, instead of 3 or 4 things, now it's 6 or 7 things you have to get past in order to get the other end. And it's like, I don't know. I wasn't having a good time in that particular moment. So,
it's like you waited all the time. You know what? It's kind of funny sometimes. It's like you wait all the time to have the game, and sometimes I've done that before playing retro games, and then you get in there and then you die, and like, man, this sucks. So I know
and it's
I know what you mean. Like, I've been there before. I've been there totally.
But it's like it's not like it's not like I'm saying like, no, this game I'm writing it off. I'm going back to this woodshed over and over and over again because I want to beat it. Because in my head, I'm like, this game's going to be awesome because I'm going to get all of the cool little nuggets of nostalgia that they've hidden all over this game. I want to explore it. But it's so weird to have this level of difficulty so early. And a whole bunch of people are like, oh, I beat the first stage in 5 seconds. You're just a nub and you need to get good. Okay, all right, I'll take it. But also remember who you're selling this to, right? You're selling this nostalgia to people sometimes that haven't picked up a controller in years. And you hit them with something like this, they might just turn it off. Like they might, oh, this Atari, this looks cool. This is Atari game. I haven't played games in 20 years. I'll pick this up. I got my kids Switch, and then they play, and then they get wrecked in that first encounter, and they go, oh well, man, Atari sucks. You know, like,
See, they want to remind you that it's Atari. They want to remind you of that.
Right, and it's just like,
Screw nostalgia.
don't do that. Give them the carrot before you whack him with the stick. That's all I'm saying. Man. But again, it's early impressions. I might beat it, later on tonight, or something like that, and then it might open up and be great. But I'm fearful. Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right, Lloyd. But I'm just fearful that I'm going to get to the point where, okay, I beat that one, and I get to the next set, and something even more ridiculous happens. You know what I mean? And then if that happens, then I think I'm out. And that's unfortunate because I've been really looking forward to this one.
Yeah. I feel the problem is I like challenging games or something like Pac-Man, Centipede Asteroids, where when you die, you're just like, oh, I can do better. Like, I want to do it again. You know what I mean? Like, and like roguelike games, it's like you want to, like, it's a challenging game, that, but you want to play it again. You want to beat your score. It sucks when a game, like, when you just feel defeated, you're just like, oh, I just,
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point too, Crow. I mean, it is too late. They already bought the game.
Yeah.
I mean, Atari's like, yeah, well, I got your.
So you know what's weird about that? Atari Mania and like Donut Dodo, like you can get those on. Well, this isn't the weird part. You can get those on Steam, but I've noticed some games like that just don't go to the PS4 store. Like they have all the recharge games, but
yeah, it's weird. I don't know what their licensing things are. I don't know how they do it. They're on Switch too. Dodo and Atari Mania are on Switch. But it's weird. Here's the other part, right? Digital Eclipse doing the 50 anniversary celebration. That's on everything, literally everything. PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Switch, VCS, toaster oven. It just they're just porting it everywhere, which is good. And it that's exciting too because again, you get those nuggets. You get the Evercade nugget right there. You get the thing that is like, oh, I've never played this one. I've never played Trevor McFur, because I never owned a Jaguar. But there's, 5+ Jaguar games on this collection. And I'm like, yes, I want to play Cybermorph for the first time. Let's play, what is it, Fight to Live or something like that? Or I just give me all those games that I've never played. And an emulator that now will work on every modern console. And then what they can do is just turn around and license that emulator to everybody under the sun, and that's a fun time for everyone.
Blaze Entertainment, yeah.
Well, just that out there.
So let me share real quick my Halloween related game that I've been playing.
Yeah.
And Vampire Survivor, and it's an indie. It was full screen. I don't know. I just felt like putting the trailer. So this game, it was like. It just came out of early access. Like it was $2.99. It's only $5. But if you like roguelikes, this game is awesome because, what's neat about it is like each character has a certain weapon, but like you might have like the dagger, for instance, fires like in the direction that you're moving. The whip constantly goes like this, so it's not like Diablo where you automatically shoot in the direction that you're going.
Sure.
And there's like tons of unlocks, and unlocking their characters, and it's. It gives you a reason to keep. It gives you a reason to keep playing again, and it works fine on the PC with like using the WASD keys. Like you don't even have to use a controller.
Is it kind of like a twin stick?
Yes, kind of, but except you don't control. You don't control the shoot. Like the shooting is on auto.
Got it.
Kind of think of it like that. Like only. Like the.
You just shoot anytime you move.
So like like the dagger shoots in the direction that you move. Otherwise, like the whip constantly goes horizontally. Yeah. Like it reminds me of, it's like they took inspiration from Castlevania. Like the axes just shoot up in one way. The boomerang shoots. Yeah,
that looks rad. That's a great. I mean, I'm saying as far as like game recommendations for the holiday that is Halloween. Yeah, man. I think I might try to scoop that. Is it only on Steam?
Yes, I think so, because it just came out of early access.
Got it. So I mean, hopefully they'll port it onto the consoles because I love the console feel. But as soon as I get my laptop back, I'll pick up a copy of that because I don't have Steam on anything else. So
no, it's pretty neat. And I think also I have it like just on the off chance, like if we go to Steam Deck, it would be like the ultimate game, like to be able to play.
Yeah, you know who we need to get to go get that game then. Pete.
Yeah.
Just tell Pete. Just like, hey, if you're watching, Pete, just go get it. Go get it and then tell us. Just do a video and just tell me how awesome it is.
So in the spirit of Halloween.
Yeah.
I guess I do have one more. So fanatical.com, they have like, a lot of different bundles, and this is your build your own horror pack, $1 each. Actually, so I got this game I'm talking about. I got a while back. Savage Halloween.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty can I go full screen? I can.
Yeah.
So this game is pretty neat. I mean, I think it's been out for a while. I mean, it normally retails like for $5, but you can get it here for like $1.
That's really cool.
Yeah, weird pumpkin head guy. You can change weapons. I need to play this. I need a better PC controller. That's a problem, but.
Oh yeah, speaking of, let me see if I can find this link. While you're doing that looks really cool. There was a thing that I just got. If you follow Digital Eclipse on Twitter, where is it? Yeah, if you follow Digital Eclipse on Twitter, they actually just gave out a game today, which is pretty cool. That was like for the Halloween holiday things. The game is called Candy Creeps. I'm gonna copy this link address and put it in the private chat. While we're doing that, you want to pull that one up?
Yeah. Put the link in the private chat.
Yeah.
I was just trying to.
I don't know if it has a video or anything like that, or maybe just a logo or some screenshots or whatever. But
can you still get it for free?
That was kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, I think if you follow the account, I think it's through Halloween. Anyone that follows the account, will just get an email, and then you get a free downloadable game on itch.io. Oh, there we go. There's a trailer down there.
See.
And these are the same guys that are doing the Atari 50th. These are the same guys that did whatchamacallit. This one definitely has this almost has a Donut Dodo feel.
Yeah, no, I love this. Yes.
That's neat. That's really cool. And it was free. Like, I just followed the account. They're like, oh, here's your email. Very cool. So, and it's a direct download, so it just runs on your PC.
Dude.
So, very cool. Very cool. Look at all that cool stuff that's happening. So,
gotta check that out for sure.
Yeah. It's kind of neat. Hey, there's Pete. What's going on, Pete? Your ears must have been ringing. We were just talking about you. Love modern single screen games. Yeah, heck yeah, man. Like I said, it was free. I just followed Digital Eclipse's account. And they just sent me an email. They're like, hey, here, have this game. I mean, well, not just to me. It was to everyone that was following it. But yeah, very, very cool. Oh, well, and while you're here, because we just literally talked about telling you to go get something. Ed, pull up the trailer for what was it? A vampire?
Hold on. Yeah, let me read Google.
Vampire.
I'm bad about closing the door.
Guys.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors.
Survivors, yeah.
Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, check this thing out, and if you are so inclined, play this on your Steam Deck, and then tell us how it is.
It just came out of
It's
it just came out of early access.
You punks. It's only nice things, Pete. Come on. It's very cool.
All right, I found it. Let me share.
Big props to Ed for the spooky theme music in the background. That's good times. I'm in the mood. It's good.
Oh, it'll get spookier here in a second.
Yeah, check this wild thing out. This is
unlocked her. Yeah.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
I haven't unlocked that unicorn. See, and then that card system, like with more like abilities, that's new that they just added. But yeah, this just came out of early access. It's a roguelike. There's like tons of like characters unlock, and you know what? It goes into the indie theme that like there's no DLC. Buy it once, and you have like everything.
Yep. Yeah, this game looks absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
And what did you say? It was like $5?
That's $5. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. I mean, it's like this cheap. That's good stuff.
These are new updates or what? Let's see what. 1.0 dated. Okay, this is the Okay, so that was the, and this the 1.0 announcement trailer. So I guess this is. Oh, so I guess that's the content patch. October 20th. Okay, so that's when it came in October 20th. Yeah. See, that's what I love about indie games. They're like, they're in the old school style of you get everything, you buy it once.
Yeah, I know. That's very cool. Oh, here, Sirens is here. He's asking, what are some Halloween-themed games that we can get on modern consoles? Well, we're just going over some right there. Like, there's tons of these indie games that are popping up everywhere that have these indie, like Halloween-themed kind of thing. There was the free one we just went over a little bit ago for Digital Eclipse. This guy right here we were just talking about. All sorts of cool stuff sneaking around. There wasn't necessarily one. I mean, I would argue, Cathedral would probably be one. It's kind of like you can get that, because you get that on Evercade and Switch.
Vampire Survivors on Steam.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors.
Yes.
On Steam.
Give you the KillDashNine guarantee, I promise.
The KillDashNine guarantee. All right.
No, I forget
stamp on your channel.
Yeah, I know. I should plug it. No, I forget who. It was either like Gaming on Linux or one of those Steam Deck sites where like Vampire Survivors was #1 for a while because in early access it was only $2.99.
Yeah, nice.
Oh,
you know like what? That guy.
Since Pete missed it, I gotta play. I'll play.
Is it cheap because I'm cheap? It's $5.
Ow.
US.
We'll see it on Evercast. I'll spare him.
Yeah.
But
you can still download and play Medieval, Lloyd. Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's a classic game. Does it have a RetroKillDashNine promo code?
KillDashNine guarantee. Yes.
Yeah, you can be like the Men's Warehouse guy.
So
you'll like the way it plays. I guarantee it.
So speaking of the theme, speaking of the themes of Halloween.
Yeah.
Let me share the picture and then I'll show. So if you guys want to see some like retro costumes, so I still have these from my.
That's so cool.
From my childhood, and those of you who missed it.
Those bring me back because actually, you know what? Somebody took a picture. They started reproducing some of the other ones from this era, and putting them out in Party City. But it's so awesome that you're I actually know someone oh yeah, remember those from back in the day? Oh yeah, I still have them.
Yeah, see, I still have. Don't want to unfold it, but yeah, I still even have this, and it's weird because it's when the Halloween costumes they had the picture of the thing on it, which is the mask. But yeah, so that's the creepy. The creepy
clown. Yeah, you're right. That does look like it. Kind of looks like
dude.
Kid Myers.
Oh, hey, show me retro. Actually, yeah, he's actually been watching the videos on some of my main channel and commenting, so it's cool to. It's cool to see you here.
Nice. Welcome, man.
Let me. Yeah. You never know what pops in. Let me put myself full screen just so you can.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's go to the next two. The masters in the universe.
Yeah, I mean that's a classic skeleton.
Oh, and I don't know if you saw the price tags. This one was $5.99.
Wow.
Yeah, and that other one, and that Halloween one, that clown one was $2.69. Yeah, these are really delicate. So it's just
I had a Skeletor costume when I was young.
Yeah, I don't know how I still. Ew, I guess. Oh my god! Look, I guess this was from some rappers. Wow, ew, throw those away. But yeah, I still have the. So there's the.
Nice.
I'm afraid to unfold that. Yeah, there's.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't say that, but I hope it doesn't.
No. Flame. It's hard dent. Yeah, I know the sticker. Yeah, I know the sticker. Yeah, the sticker black. I mean, yeah. Listen, some stuff doesn't hold up from what I was hoping nobody would notice.
But actually, wait. Put that box back up.
Yeah, of course, Crow would.
He's right, though. It does say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a whoopsie.
Yeah. It's supposed to be retardant.
Whoops.
And then the third one is Orko. That's so weird. I remember Orko. I don't know why. That's so weird that I wanted to be Orko. Like at one point, Skeletor, I guess because he's cooler than He-Man. Ooh, this one's really fragile, but like
Orko was the man.
And then this one has no Halloween candy surprise, but yeah,
it's funny though because it actually just says Orko. It's like the back. It's like the front plate of the card when you buy an action figure. It just says Orko on it. You're walking around like you're complete in box.
Yeah, that's always weird. Like that they have like the picture of like what you were wearing. In case I guess maybe like for the old people who didn't know what you were. But yeah, that is.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I think I mean, when I was looking through my different masks. Actually, me and Rich were talking. I also have like Michael Myers, Pinhead, and Saw. But I'm like, I didn't want to get those in the back. But you know what? I'm kind of glad because this is a retro gaming show, so these actually fit. Yes. That actually.
Well, and then of course, as far as like Halloween stuff goes, you know us, you know me over here. Just this thing staring me in the face. Is like one day I might actually have this Wizard video game in my hands.
Staples were a must.
One day, yes, Staples were a must. So I don't know. One day I'll get it.
SW.
It's so expensive, and the game is so bad. Like it's just like, I still just want it though.
What's SW?
Show us SW next time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Great for a costume event. I know. Well, see, you can kind of see in the corner here. I don't know. I have a Friday the 13th. I have a few other horror figures. I don't know. Maybe I should show more of that off. But you can't.
That's cool. Yeah.
Star Wars. I mean, I do have some like my Star Wars figures. Is that?
Oh, nice.
Okay. You know what? Maybe, You know what? Maybe I'll do. Maybe I'll do a little bit because sometimes I've shown like briefly my figures kind of behind there, but. Maybe I'll do that and post it. Like you probably can, like I have like the Napoleon. That's weird. Like I have like the Napoleon Dynamite and like Pedro, like a long time ago when that was a thing. Yeah, you got Power of the Force figures back there, right? 90 the 97 ones. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do need to.
Yeah, I see the orange card. Those are the first wave, and then you got the green card and the purple card.
Yeah, I got Princess Leia.
Yeah, those are cool. I had those. I had a full set of the orange card for because I worked at Toys R Us while I was there, so I got first dibs when the box got cracked.
Nice.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. So I collected the entire first orange run of everything. I got the vehicles, I got the lightsabers, and I got the figures. And then I stopped because it got too ridiculous.
Yeah, I think I might have had more, but I don't know if I sold them or what happened. I know at least those are the ones I kept in the package. It's kind of funny what you keep and have as from your child as an adult.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, that's cool, man. That's very cool. That's really neat. So why don't we want to jump into a topic or two here?
Are we talking about that? No, of course.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's awesome, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
I'll have to do that.
Very neat.
Even you know what? Even if it's just a short, I'll at least.
Yeah.
Might be a good short. Yeah, it might be a good short to post to the show.
It'd be very cool. So, yeah. So let's go to this topic here. This is yours, Ed. So why don't you go ahead and lead in?
Alrighty.
That's true. Nothing better than a Toys R Us store smell. That's absolutely correct.
Dressed up as a kid with his brother down here. Cool.
Nice.
So this is something I think is all in the back of our minds. Actually I saw a YouTube. Can't remember the name of the YouTuber, but it was titled like why does Ubisoft suck? And kind of what kind of made me kind of go to this because they do offer like as a service thing where you can play all the Ubisoft games, but unless like you're like a big fan of like Far Cry, or something else, it's not. But kind of the point is, it's like with this hurt like this hurt retro game, with this hurt like retro indie, like how there's like Ant Stream and all that. So it kind of got me thinking because why do they want as a service game it's because to kind of sum up the whole video, it kind of one of the things you're talking, because companies, if they can get you to pay a subscription fee and like rent their games over and over again, they can make more money.
Sure.
The thing that I think is predatory about that is there are people out there who are like completionists, who they have to complete everything, they want to get the achievements. But what if you keep make a game and like every week you add more achievements and you add more quests? Then if essentially you have a game that never ends, and then you have people who feel like they have to keep like playing it and they can't like pull away, which is another great thing that'll tie into a later topic. So just hold that.
Sure.
Hold that thought. So I mean, so for me, because here's the thing, and I think one of the reasons we love retro games, like take something basic like Pac-Man, like that would never be made today, because something like that, I mean, it's a classic example of a game. It's basic as you can get, but like super fun. And by the way, it's Halloween themed. You could argue because of the ghosts, but
Yeah.
And so, like, let's say if that was as a service, right? Like, here's an example of what I don't mind, and here's what's bad as a service. Well, at least like in the PlayStation, I'm sure they do this in all consoles. Like for some live games, like Capcom does this, they'll have like a challenge, or they'll like they had one like for Street Fighter, where they say, where like you play it like super fast or try to get the high score, or mix like I'm fine with those limited ones, even the ones that Antstream do. But what I don't want to see is let's say they're like, hey, you can pay for these Pac-Man skins. Or like, now this week we're gonna totally change the level. You could pay for power pellets to be pretzels, or we're gonna totally change Pac-Man and like rearrange the level. That's what I don't want to have happen. So to me that would be, and I think because for retro indie gamers, because we love that type of like steal, like this would bastardize games so much. Like nobody's looking for that, I don't think. So I'm hoping that wouldn't happen. So that's, people who are into retro games want to keep them retro. But would be kind of sad though is at some point, like let's say you could no longer like buy like Miss Pac-Man like from the PS4 store. Let's say the only, or the console store. Let's say the only way you can get it is to pay a monthly fee. And actually, so believe it or not, I kind of ran into this on my phone, which relates into it. So you'll remember the good old Solitaire, like on Windows 95, right?
Yep.
It was bare bones, nothing special, no fancy leaderboards, nothing weird, no other skins.
Sure.
You could just play freaking Solitaire. So for me on the phone, like I kind of wanted just like a jump in, jump out game like Solitaire. It's kind of one of those fun games you could stop at any time. You could pick it up. Well, if you go through the cesspool of the Play Store, like a lot of these services.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, and so what's interesting? So like you find, let's say luckily you can refund your money. Like, so here's the thing: I would have paid $5 for a Solitaire game that was just like the old school one, like nothing special.
Sure.
Give me like normal screen resolution, make it so I can play it in landscape because it's kind of weird, nothing special.
Yeah.
If it saved your best, just give me that. But like, for even some of the paid ones, like they have like free sell all these games. I would have been fine with that. But let's say the cards looked weird, you could things didn't scale right or didn't look how I wanted. And then there's some of them where they want you to pay like $5 a month, and like the Microsoft ones or Spider Solitaire. Finally, after searching, I think I found an article through Reddit. Somebody did make a free game with no ads. It's bare bones, but that's all right.
It's like just Solitaire, right?
Yeah, it's like one card or three cards. And you can replay the level. I think it doesn't tell you when you're out of moves. I don't care, but it's like I'm like fine, but but I would have paid for that. I don't want to to be like it's still like who's gonna pay $5 a month or $3 a month for Solitaire? Like come on, like that's ridiculous. And that's kind of the point that I don't want to get I don't want it to get to where like you can't. Let's say you can't actually buy digital content. You actually have to pay for things as a service. And some people might be like, well, isn't Steam and Origin or like anything the same thing? No, because you're like, let's say technically, okay, let's look at it this way. As long as Steam is in business or Valve, let's say you have a free subscription for life, right? Like, let's just say that, whatever to protect themselves, they can cancel it. But when you buy the game, as long as Valve is in business, which because they don't have any loyalty to any one publisher except their own console,
right?
You can re-download the game as much as you want. They'll put all your saves, and yes, they do get like 30%, but they have the whole like infrastructure of of everything. And so that's the difference. You can download the game, you can play it offline. Nothing is streaming. And I think that's why I haven't even like dipped into Ant Stream, because I think you can do challenges like for me, like with retro games, like it sours me if you have to like use coin. You know, like I don't want these like free to play gimmicks in my in my retro stuff. You know, you know, or skins.
I can totally see that, because it's just like, you know, the whole thing going back and forth with the way that most every service now, most everything is trying to be built into some kind of thing that you can perpetuate, right? You know, it's a constant search for some kind of revenue stream. So everybody's trying to dip their toe into it, and it is frustrating though, because, you know, sometimes for those that remember, you know, that you know, like golden day when you could just go get a game and it was the game and you could just play it, you know, that was great.
But see, I'm fine with this, like Pac-Man. I don't know if that's a Switch exclusive, but like I'm fine with that,
yeah,
right?
Because that's fine. Yeah. Because it's not trying to, Pac-Man 99, you buy it and it's there, right? It's not trying to hit you up every 5 seconds for, oh, hey, if you give us $5 a month, now you can get, you know, more Pac-Man 99 every month or whatever it is. Yeah, like you're absolutely right. That's, you know, but it is a great game. I actually did get into some Pac-Man 99.
So Crow brings up a good, you know, people wouldn't, but here's the thing though, like retro is different, right? It's kind of like people who want to watch like the original Star Wars movies. Like I want to say like the Laserdisc was like considered to be like the last original before like Lucas messed with it. You know what I mean? Before,
right? Yep.
You know, so there's like, or there's like, let's say like certain old movies. You know, let's say even if they remake those newer movies, you can still watch the older movies, assuming that you can find it. You know, so that, you know, again, that I'm fine with. But it's like, I think in some form or another, those classic games, like you should be able just to go out there and play those games. You know, I don't want something that, like, let's say if they even offer as a service, hey, you can play all the Atari game, instead of like buying like an Atari pack, let's say like on the VCS that has like 50 games. I would hate it. It's like, oh, well, now you can get every single Atari game ever made, but you have to pay $5 a month. It's like, can I just buy the packs? And you know what I mean?
Right. So, oh yeah, and so they're going, yeah, Pac-Man 99 is free. You do still need a subscription to Nintendo Online, because you have to be able to connect to play the service. So so Crow, that is like kind of like a thing. You don't have to buy the game, so there is that. But yeah, in order to play online, you gotta.
Yeah, you're talking about that. But so
to play online, yeah.
And see, and that's the other thing too. Yes, I remember like Modern Vintage Gamer did a video on that. Like,
Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah, the stupid online DRM. So it's funny because
unfortunate.
So for that, like, I won't buy any games like that. Like, I won't buy. Like, I think that's why I haven't gotten into Ubisoft. Like, anything that requires that launcher, I won't flat out get. Now, like the Epic Game Store, they've given away games for free like every week. So like that I'll play. I would play the free games, because then if that goes away or there's something, I don't have anything like, you know what I mean, like invested in it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know. Everyone is trying to find their way to keep their customers in that circle, right? So, you know, if it's working for somebody else, I mean, if it's working for somebody else, then, you know.
So here's the other weird thing. Well, maybe about me. You could tell me if you guys are like this gaming wise. So something like, okay, so for subscription services, something like, let's say like Netflix, HBO, Prime, whatever. I don't have a problem paying for those, because like me and my wife, we watch enough TV, we order enough stuff on Amazon. I'm gonna get my money's worth. For like the Evercade carts behind me, like those are physical. So because they're, well, obviously you guys knew that. I don't mean to pay some patronizing, but because they're physical, let's say, you know, something like the Gremlin collection, like, you know, I don't like all the, at least it's a showpiece. It's something, so I'm getting something physical out of it. So even if I don't play it as much, at least it's there. I have the manuals, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Now
digital games, because they're not, for me, like if I spend $1 on a game, I don't care. $5, like even something like $5, I know might be a bit like, then I you know, because if you just like buy that one game, no big deal. But then if you I don't want to like buy like 10 games, spend $50 and not play them. Like if I spend money on something, I like to use it. So especially digital, because it's kind of hidden. So, that's why in some of those things I'm more particular, and especially if you're spending all this money like on let's say on an ecosystem that may not even exist or be there. Like I think Steam right now is safe, but like Nintendo with the 3DS, with they gone. Even Sony, they remember they threatened to get rid of like the Vita and PS3, and then people rioted, and then they realized there's money there. They brought it back. Eventually, with the PS4, that might happen too.
Well, I mean, eventually that's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is the thing, right? which is this all spins into what happens with digital game preservation at that point. Like how do you get these titles off of these servers somehow and distributed to the people that would like to buy them after the servers go down? Obviously, online games withstanding, right? If the game was built to be online, Destiny, World of Warcraft, like that, that kind of stuff. That obviously when they're done, right? But there are some of these titles that could easily work because they don't have even online modes, right? There's tons of indie games that are on the PS3 store, and all the PlayStation classics, all that stuff.
But you know what though? Don't forget even the online games like that, the original like Star Wars universe, like that's being brought back to life. Like even like the original like EverQuest. So like if there's a big enough fan base, but it takes fans. To your point, it takes fans. Like the company isn't gonna.
Yeah, well, so I mean, to my example, right? I love tactical RPGs, SRPGs, right? Final Fantasy Tactics, Ogre Battle, all that stuff, right? There's a game series called Vandal Hearts, right? They put out a game on PS3 that was digital only, so you can't get it on disc. So what happens when the PS3 store goes down?
Exactly.
You're not playing that version of Vandal Hearts. Now, people might say, well, that version of Vandal Hearts is no good, but I enjoyed it. I played it 3 times in a row. It's short, but I played that game 3 times in a row. So it's like, I very rarely play games once through, because I don't have a lot of time. But that game, for some odd reason, it just hooked me. So it was like, I really like that game. If I had the opportunity to get it re-downloaded digital or given to me on a disc or a card or something like that, sure, I would do it.
So Absolutely. What's interesting about that, because like back in the days of like Blockbuster Video and all that, like to me, like getting rid of those titles would kind of be like Blockbuster, like getting rid of like your Friday the 13th, your Freddy, your Nightmare on Elm Street, and be like, nobody wants to watch those. I'm like, dude, what are you kidding me? Those are those are classics. Right. So what kills me especially about companies like Nintendo or even Sony or all that, like, okay, like there's so much money that they could make just alone from their back catalog. Why wouldn't you have it? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't, like, there's a big enough market where that, in my opinion, would pay for the server space or whatever. Like, I don't understand why they don't have that there, because that's lost of time. There's like on the Wii, there's like a version of, there's like Castlevania, Contra, that were like exclusive titles, only digital, that are lost of time. And what I hate is it always comes back to like software piracy. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, so
this is what Crow is saying. He says, well, let's just say that when Nintendo took the Wii store down years ago, but I still have a way to get and play those games if I really want to. Yeah, sure. And that is a way, right? Someone will find a way. But the point, I guess, the drum that a lot of people are beating is that it's so easy for the companies that are holding this data, to find a way to preserve it and redistribute it somehow that can, that other people can gain access to it at some point, right? That's another business model that can go into the future ad infinitum, because it's their property, right? Like on a Nintendo console, you buy a license to put it on that console, right? As part of that license, it can be like, all right, well, we get distribution rights for this version of this game, in perpetuity. You write the license as such, and then they can put that license then in a box, and then just make sure that vault, right? The Wii vault, right? That the eShop, the thing that was putting out all the virtual console, right? That's an idea that can live and breathe forever, but have a legal way for you to go and grab the stuff. And then have it be fine. But now, what will happen is a lot of people will say, all right, well, if you're going to do that, then let's go back to my Vandal Hearts example. I already bought that game on PS3. Now, what will a business do? Oh, they'll try to remonetize that every time I buy a new system. Yeah, okay. I mean, but that gets a little messy, of course. But yeah, I mean, that's true. Sirens. It says this is why companies like Limited Run Games was created. Yeah, to a certain extent, but will Limited Run do a Limited Run Games of the Vandal Hearts game? Probably not. It wasn't widely received. It didn't really sell well. But
the problem,
there's a handful of us that go, sweet, I'd love some Vandal Hearts action.
But here's the problem though with Limited Run, like it's still far from perfect because they have like the special editions of the games and they charge a lot for shipping, and then there's some interesting videos out there on YouTube like you have to pay like more for a better box, and like their customer service is hell. Not only that, depending on the game, like something like the full game doesn't always fit. So yeah, I get what you mean, sir. But the point is not necessarily everyone wants to get physical for everything, and physical is more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, but there's got to be a way, right? Like there has to be a way for them to the LRG or anti-gamers.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever Canadian says. I mean, they're a business, right? And some people's assessment of their business practices are going to be as such. Either anti-consumer, anti-gamer, or or whatever. I mean, that's valid opinions all over the place.
You know what needs to happen? I wish. I mean, and it would take maybe just one country to do this, but something like have the Digital Preservation Act. I don't know. Like anybody who sells or maybe make it all internet. Anybody who sells anything digital on the internet always has to make it available to download as long as the company is in existence. Something something like that.
It was something, right? Like it, and again, if a company goes belly up and it's over, then okay, then, but if it's over and there's no monetization opportunities for the licensee or the publisher, or the distributor or whatever, or the platform holder, is the word I was looking for, then you know what? Okay, then it goes into the grayware space and people with the patches put on their eyes, and then there you go, right? Because there is literally no legitimate way of figuring it all out. But
what's interesting, and I can't, for the love of God, I can't remember the name of the site. So there used to be another site that was like Humble Bundle.
Yeah,
I forget what but like the difference though is that like Steam has like you have to have like a certain quality of a game.
Yeah.
Right. So you can go in early access, but this you could put up anything, no matter how. I can't remember the name of it, and they would have like good. Actually, like that's where I first found out about like Five Nights from Freddy's. And the thing is that most of the time you could always get a Steam key. Not necessarily, it wasn't guaranteed, or like you could ask the developer, and sometimes they'd be nice. That's I can't remember the name of it. Went under, and they let people say, "Hey, if you want to download everything, here's now your chance." But for me though, I got like 99%. I already had Steam keys for everything. Like, God, I can't remember the number of that, but that like went out of existence. I'm sure there might be some other games that like, we'll never. Brought up analog. Don't even. All right. So since people, all right. So here's a problem I have with analog before we go to our topic. So they're doing so two things. Initially, like as far as for the Pocket, right? Like they're like those adapters that they have, like they were selling those like for $29.99 individually, but now they're forcing you to buy like a pack of 3 of them for $99, which I think is dumb because maybe not everyone wants all the adapters.
Right. Yeah. I mean, say you don't want the Turbo Express one.
Second of all, with all the handhelds and everything being popular, I think that like it's lost its lackluster of using physical cards since it's like jailbroken and you can play anything. But here's here's what burns me. So they said like, well, okay, so watch the video from Mad Little Pixel, and he was showing like, hey, they're gonna do like a final run of like their like their Mega Drives and their NT, like their NT and all like on and like they're $200. I'm like, ooh, that might be kind of cool to get for Christmas and all that. Guess what? If you reserve one now in October, you'll get one this time next year.
Yep.
And so to me, like, I think it's ridiculous to like pay $200. They're getting, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even know if I really want one that bad a year from now. Maybe I'd rather find one that's like, you know what I mean? Like that's ridiculous to put money now and have a company hold your money for a year. So
yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things where it's possible that there's a double-edged sword. Not trying to play. I mean, 130 Canadian is huge. But
just for adapters,
yeah, just for adapters.
For pass through.
I mean, it's pricey, but even the consoles are pricey, right? So that what is the Mega SG? Is
Yeah,
it
the
called?
$200.
The Mega
So-
Drive. It's $200 for. I know it's FPGA, and it's all like legit. Like they have it's super high quality or whatever. But it's $200 for that thing, right? And I know it's not. It's Mayans emulation, all this other stuff, but $70 less, I get a thing that plays all 5 consoles plus some. Like it's a little weird.
So here's what's interesting. It's like to be able to play like original carts and all that. It is cool, but then you could technically argue, yes, it's not original hardware. How important is it to you? Or is something like an Evercade that's a lot cheaper? Yes, you're not going to be able to play your Marios and all that. So then here's kind of a weird territory. Analog is becoming more expensive. The other things are more expensive. Are you really going to notice a difference between FPGA emulation versus, let's say, like software emulation? Then it's like, a Steam Deck is like $400, and it can emulate all those things plus more, plus the Steam Store. So now things are getting in this weird space where you really have to decide how much of a luxury. You know what I mean? And that's why it makes sense. Pete, if you're still here, sorry, let me just finish last thought.
Yeah,
it makes sense that he traded in his analog pocket for a modified Game Boy Advance, which I get it. It's like if you want that plug and play where you can plug in the cards, for I would rather. I think I told him I would rather have that. Like, dude, give me a souped up GBA where I don't have to mess with that, and it's original hardware. So
right,
go ahead.
Yeah, well, and that's one of those things too. It's like I understand a premium on restoring old original hardware to modern spec, like that I kind of get, right? But the luxury new device that does the same thing, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't grab me for the same way. And I kind of agree with Lloyd's comment saying like analog could be printing money right now, and it's true. It 100% is absolutely true. And yeah, I mean Crow's got a point too.
So okay. So I'll tell you why I don't like that statement relating to CRT. So if you say to me, hey, play the arcade machine, play a hard drive in the way that it was meant to be played in the arcade, that makes sense because you actually have like a real steering wheel and pedals and all that. Yeah. Right? With games to be played, that's not the way that they were meant to be played. That's all the technology that we had at the time. Because like Game Boy, that had like an LCD and all that. So that's to me, I think that's a little bit nuts. Like saying like games have the way they're meant to be played are on a CR. No, to me the way I like seeing things in high def because you really get to see the pixels. But
so there is difference and nuance though with some of those some of the pixel art, right? It does definitely just look different, when you see it on a high res screen as to when you actually see it on a CRT, because the scan lines actually do distort the image to the point where when you're looking at it, it actually looks like a different image.
I'm not arguing that. I just like when people say for like a CRT, I don't like the statement saying like I don't think they were meant to be played only on a CRT. Like like the arcade version of like hard drive and like that version was meant to be played on arcade hardware because if you try to port it to MAME, it's not going to work. Now, right. You know what I mean? Unless you were to play like the Genesis port, but that's not the, so for CRT,
it's not the same game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same like code, but it doesn't play the same way.
Yeah, but plus like the original arcade experience, like that's different. Some people, they could argue like I want to capture that original nostalgia on a CRT. I get it. But to me though, I don't think that retro or indie games need to. Like if you like to play things on a CRT, that's great. But I don't think that they need to be.
Yeah.
Depending. So with lag, that's it. Depending on. So here's the thing with that. Usually, lag, it's like it can be from anywhere from like 1 frame to 5 frames. Like for normal gamers, it doesn't matter unless like you're speed running. Yes, I agree.
And some of the emulators now, some of the modern emulators actually start to compensate for that a little.
Yeah,
because they realize that like some of the developers of that, those emulation engines know that there is latency or some kind of lag, and then they try to compensate in the way that the frames are being drawn on the screen. So yeah, like it depends on what you're doing though. Like I'm sure that Blaze, the way the reason why games feel different on the Evercade is probably because their engines that they're running are modified, so they're optimized for the hardware.
Exactly.
And all that hardware is running on a like a modern television, HDMI, high resolution, high definition. So like that, in that sense, those games are literally meant to be played on Evercade hardware on a modern screen, right?
Yeah.
If you were somehow to de-res an Evercade and put that on a CRT, I think the experience would be weird, right? But if you had a cart that was on original hardware and you plug that into the CRT, your experience also would be different.
No, I haven't, but that intrigues me.
Yeah, I just saw that actually right before the show. Someone was sharing that around. I think I want to say it hit the Evercade fan club or something like that. So, yeah, it sees Crow says lag is an issue, but I'd rather record Atari 2600 pointing in my camera at the CRT rather than a capture device because it looks way better. I think
capturing is different, but just like playing.
I mean, I can agree somewhat with that too, but I don't know though. I think though, Crow, that might just be that might be like a personal preference, almost / nostalgia. I agree that if I had a great CRT, I'd plug my consoles in there. I mean, I don't know though, like recording it, if I would record the CRT directly with a camera, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that's again, it's one of those things. It's like personal preference, but if preferred for playing,
dude, that's
the thing. And yes, 100%, Crow. Light guns, end of argument. Yes. For right now, there isn't there are things that are starting to work, but there isn't a completely valid, competitor to light guns that you can play on CRTs, because in my opinion, because I got to that level of playing light gun games on a CRT with a gun con that had force feedback. If you can give me that in my house on a modern television, I'll buy that all day, because that was awesome.
Yeah,
I missed my feedback gun con.
So here's kind of and again, I'll go back to the hard driving example. So it's kind of like,
sure, yeah.
Like let's say there's somebody who like loves actually, so maybe that's, I don't know if that's, oh, okay, actually let me what's one actually let me go to Arcade 1UP. So let me because there's no hard drive in 1UP, not yet.
Sure.
So here's the thing with the Arcade 1UP. Like let's say somebody has the Arcade 1UP of Outrun, they play it and they love it and they totally enjoy it. Somebody has the Genesis version, they love it. You can love those two games, but as long as you know that that's a complete different experience from the Evercade. I mean, from the arcade game, that's fine. It's as long as you're not like, well, hey, this is like an arcade. This is an exact same thing as an arcade machine. No, that's but that doesn't take away the enjoyment from the other versions of that game and experiences. They're total. They're total different thing. They're total different things is what I'm trying to get to. So that's why I hate when someone says the way it's originally made to be played. It's like, yeah, I could have fun playing like Robotron on my Game Boy SP part of a collection, but it's a different experience than playing it in the arcade using the real twin sticks. That's what I'm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting at. And I would never say, oh, I've got an arcade machine. No, obviously it's I know it's a port. That's all.
No, I gotcha. Yeah. What's going on, Drew Braca? Welcome on in. And everyone is having a good evening. We're having all sorts of awesome, lively discussions. It's very cool. It is a good time. And then Lloyd, I think you're right. I think it is the 4 Evercade guy on the YouTubes that had that video where he was plugging Evercade cartridges into a Mister. I don't know what that was supposed to do.
I just found that, because
it's so weird.
Well, because I guess because they show like water margin running on it. I mean, I guess because like on Mister you could play all the ROMs anyways, but it's one of those cool weird modding things, like just because you can. Yeah,
I mean that's like okay, that's neat.
Because the Mister's going to be way more.
Some of those ROMs are they had work done to them, because again some of those ROMs are specifically made and optimized for the Evercade hardware. So as the Mister sees it, it might actually be a better ROM to play in other places. So that could be a thing. Like 100% could be a thing.
Yeah.
But why don't we shift gears a little bit to our next topic, and we're shifting gears all the way to the digital paper of Magic.
Oh yeah, this is your topic. Oh yeah, this is a good one.
My topic. So, so I was just thinking, right? I jumped into the hole that is Magic the Gathering Arena. Okay, I'm in there. I'm in deep. It's no end in sight for me. I'm playing dailies. I just did midweek Magic. You know, like the fact that I know that midweek Magic is a thing and then played it to get my silly virtual coins indicates that I am in deep, right?
Are you playing 100% free to play, or did you spend any real money?
I am mostly 100% free to play. I did one thing once because there was some kind of special event or something like that, and it was timed, and I was in the deep, right? And it was one of those things where if I didn't do something that involved money, I was going to lose out, right? So I did that. But my dailies, I play everything for free. I play all my matches. I get my coins. When the new set comes out, I usually have enough coins to buy a whole box. You know, like 45, or this time actually it might be 90 packs of the new set. I buy those packs. I build my decks. I play some more. And then I earn enough packs to, have another 30 or 40 packs by the end. So it's pretty crazy. But I started thinking, like Arena as a game platform. Now, obviously, Wizards would be absolutely insane to license it to other, publishers or whatever. But if there was a way to get how Magic the Gathering Arena works, and almost make it like tabletop simulator, where it's just like, hey, you can have this cool thing you can play and rewrite your rules and make it work for like these cool dead card games. Or heck, man, Wizards probably owns most of these old companies because they scooped them up, decades ago. Start putting them out as skins and just have here's the skinned version of the old game, sell it for $5-10 on a store, right? And then just have it run in the arena engine. I'd play it all day long. You could do things like, I don't know.
But they wouldn't just make it $5 or $10 though.
Of course not. You'd sell packs again and all that.
So here's the good.
But I would be in if you did it with Transformers TCG, for example, which is a Wizards game, right?
Yeah.
I would be in immediately. If you did it with some of the older Decipher games, right? I don't think they bought Decipher, or maybe they did. I don't know. I haven't seen anything out of Decipher in a really long time. But if you bought, for example, the Lord of the Rings trading card game, right? That came out. That was the movie license. That was a Decipher game. I'd put that out again in this thing. I'm so in. There were tons of great, dead card games out there. Some of them are tied to really awesome properties. Some of them weren't. There was a game my brother-in-law played for ages called Legend of the Five Rings. He loved that game. The original game. Now there is a new game. They made it a living card game where you can buy box sets of the set. You get every card in the set and you just deck build and play, which is kind of cool, but it's not the same, right? It's not the same feel. I think it would just be an awesome alternative, to bring some of these games back to life.
So I'll tell you what the good and the bad. I was looking for that. It's an older South Park clip. I forget what game it was, where you had to build different buildings around Canada or whatever, and when they finally talked to the developers, well, we make the game almost fun, unless you spend money to. So that's so that's what's interesting. So here's the thing with free to play. So here's what I like and what I don't like about free to play games, or Magic. I'll tell you what. So the good thing is I like without having to spend hundreds of dollars. As long as you're willing to spend your time, you can get back into the game. You can make one or two decks, and it's a grind, but they constantly keep coming out with expansions and all that. They have to make money, and you have mythic rares, and I was playing Hearthstone for a long time where that you only had to have one legendary, which you had to have a 30 card deck. It was fewer, but here's the problem that I had with with Hearthstone is I was to the point where as long as I logged in every day and did my free quest as long as I kept playing it, I didn't have to spend any money. I couldn't make every single day. I could make I could still have fun, but then like with that game, because it's not as diverse as Magic, you would get bored with it real quickly. And there were times where it felt like a grind. And for me, what I didn't like about after a while that free-to-play game, because you have responsibilities at home, you have like YouTube, other things you want to do. I didn't like being a slave to a game where now it's like you're either you're going to spend a lot of money or you're tied,
right, or you're gonna get rolled because you don't have enough time to put into it.
Yes. So and the great thing going back to Steam, like I like Slay the Spire, which is like, oh my god, if you want like a roguelike card game, I think maybe it was like $15. I got it for $10. Sure. And there's like an expansion where now you can play the bosses. Like I went back to that, and that kind of filled that niche. I wasn't as forced to log in every day. I think I was just kind of, maybe because work had been busy or just kind of tired of the pressure.
Right.
So that's kind of the bad thing is you have to devote a lot of time to it now. With something like Magic Arena, because it's kind of one of those things where if I had like FU money, I would just buy all the cards, and then it would be like epically awesome because you could just get everything, you could keep up with it. So I think it's just kind of like either within your life. I think people who really are into Magic, I want to say like that's probably their thing. That's probably their main game. That's what they spend their disposable income on. But here's the bad thing though about that, is that like for a while for me with Hearthstone is that like, because the game got so crazy, like every 2 years they'd rotate expansions, and I was just like, it didn't feel as worth it to spend money anymore. And so unless you have like money to throw away like that on digital items, I'm just like, especially for card games, I'm like, ooh, what are you spending? You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of make me feel sick. Like, what are you spending your money? That's why I ask you if you let's say you maybe spend, let's say even if you spend up to $50, like I've done that before in other free to plays, like spent $50, never spent any more money, got a good start. That's fine, but I think I talked about like with the other like Magic, like there was one where I had like several $100s invested into it.
In the old online.
Yeah, like
they shut it down, and like your stuff was in there. They tried to like do some kind of thing where you could link your accounts.
Luckily, I got out of that. But I mean, and that was when I was really into Magic. But dude, I was like, oh, I want to do this deck, and I'd look up all the decks, and I'd make people mad because I'd have, like they knew that I paid for those decks, but it made me feel sick to my stomach that I had that invested. And all did, at least with the physical cards, at least you could like sell that back and recoup and get some money.
Well, yeah, because there is an economy in that card game. So and I get it. I get that too. Like, well, for me with Magic, and actually kind of to draw in the comment here from Chewbacca, if I agree with this statement, if you're liking a free to play game, and don't feel bad about spending a little money. Supporting the developers is a good way to show your appreciation for their work. Just don't rely on paying to play. Absolutely, 100% agree. Yeah. Now, here's the reason why I agree with that statement. I'm going to drift a little bit further from Arena to talk about a game that actually just shut down that I played almost nearly daily for 7 years. And that game is Final Fantasy Record Keeper. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. And that game and Arena right now are tied with probably most satisfying free-to-play gaming loop of all time. You could theoretically play ad infinitum both Magic the Gathering Arena and Final Fantasy Record Keeper. Obviously, now that it's dead, you can't play it anymore. But you could play either one of those games ad infinitum without paying a dime, because you could just grind your way through. Now, you had to put in some time, and there were some timed events where if you didn't log in on a Sunday and do your thing, then you wouldn't get the extra thing that would get you the chance to buy more premium things that could upgrade your character faster or whatever. But if you were, if you wanted to be in the grind, it only took 5-10 minutes. You played your thing and then you got your stuff and you're out, right? So, but there was a point in time, right, where they can incentivize you to like, hey, there's a really cool sale going on. Right, and you can use real world money, and you get some items that are cool, and it is kind of in that I don't know about pay to win category, but it's like pay to just get really awesome things category, without having to grind as much, and it was like reasonable. So like every 6 or 7 months, they'd be like, hey, there's this really awesome thing, and you can get a ton of really awesome things. It's like $20, and you're like, yes, absolutely. Because if you've been playing for nearly, at maybe once or twice a year, several hundred days straight, and you're loving this game, and they come out with this little thing, that's the right hook, right? Because then you're like, oh yeah, $20, every other year or whatever. And then of course you have your whales that, because they have their regular sales, that do that, and they're way more expensive. It's like $40 for like a third of what you were going to get.
Yeah.
Of course you have those whales that do that every week. I was in a Facebook group and people will be like, oh hey, I just got all the like the new set just dropped, like the new Final Fantasy VII weapon set. I have all of them.
Yeah, like, of course, and they can.
Okay.
See, I could see like if because then for me, like there was a time where it's like I did enjoy like like most people wouldn't spend the time to grind out this item or log it on the special day, but then I think it depends on your interest in the product, because you have Magic is one of those ones I do keep going back to at some point.
Yeah.
But then I think once it starts to feel like a second job, and for me with Hearthstone, it was kind of feeling like
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, it's kind of like what I think is a lot of fun, and I think what some people do is like the equivalent, like every card game has this. I forget what they call it, Magic, where it's like a draft. You pay for a ticket. And then if you eventually, if you get good enough, you can at least play that for free. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can get the money back to keep re-entering. Like that's a lot of fun just in general, because they're like, for that, they're trying to capture Friday Night Magic, which like the sealed deck tournaments, basically. So like,
right.
That way that kind of comes down to where everyone's on the same level playing field. There's an element of luck, but it's not somebody who spent hundreds of dollars. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot more fair. Like that's like if you can find a way to keep playing that without spending a lot of money, then I think that's kind of cool.
It's one that 100%. I agree that's that is a good point. And then Drubaka here, another awesome comment.
I love that name, Drubaka.
Yeah, it's awesome. I just try to budget fun money for the month, and I try not to worry about what I spend it on, whether I get something that I can keep or just burning in the game, paying for convenience. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to think about it, right? Because if it's, like, oh, hey, I just got some extra stuff and I'll throw it some way. Again, you're helping the devs out, you're getting some cool things, or you're getting some time saved or whatever. It's a good time. It's definitely a good time. And bringing it back to, Arena and the original topic, it's another thing. They can get these companies, wizards, basically, could be getting supplemental income by doing this, for kind of little to no effort. I mean, yes, it would take some time to digitize an entire set of some dead card games that they either have to acquire the physical cards or redraw or do whatever. Yeah, 100%.
Well, you know what they could do, Rich? And they did this with their own game for a while on Steam, where they had like Magic the Gathering 10, 13. They made like 5 card games where everybody basically had the same decks, didn't have to pay for any DLC. Matter of fact, they even gave like away like lockout codes so you could get additional cards later. They could kind of do that thing, like you pay $15 and you could eventually unlock all the cards, and everybody has access to all the same things. Nobody can buy DLC. They could kind of do something like, and I liked those for a while. I mean, yeah, you're limited to cards, but it felt more fair because everybody had access to the same pool of cards. They could do something like, I think like Yu-Gi-Oh! They do like Yu-Gi-Oh! On Steam. I think they do something like that. See, that would be neat. You pay a one-time fee, or even then if they came out with like a DLC pack every 6 months, it was like another $10 to get more cards. But as long as everybody has access to that same thing for that same price and gets the same card, you know what I mean? Then that's fine.
Yeah, and 100%. But like, it's just me, is, to be honest, I just wanted an excuse to be like, I want the rise from your grave moment for Transformers TCG at some point, because they had it. I read an article like 7 months before they pulled the plug on that game, saying that Wizards was actually working on the engine to bring a digital version of Transformers CCG to life.
Ooh,
it's like.
So here's what I don't understand about the
Final Fantasy game. Just do it. I was like, why didn't you put that out?
So here's what I don't understand: why they closed down that Final Fantasy game, like card game or whatever. Was it not making money, or did they just not want to deal with it? Because I would think something like that would be like a license to print money.
Which one? The Transformers?
No, that Final Fantasy card game that you said.
The Final Fantasy Record Keeper.
Yeah.
That was because it was Square and DNA's decision. I guess the servers for the North America, they were just costing too much money, and some of the whales went away, and they were like, well, we're not getting enough money to keep it going, so we're out. But I loved that game, man. And and it was so deep. Like the developers, you could tell that they loved Final Fantasy. And when I say loved, I mean like that there's so many different like little mini events that you could do. Like they just call them dungeons, right? But each dungeon that you went through had a little bit of story. And that story was directly from the game that it came from. So eventually, through the 7 years that you could play the game, you relived half or 2/3 or more of every Final Fantasy ever released. It was epic. The game was unbelievable. You know, like it was absolutely crazy. And I don't, it was secret only in my analog. Yeah, and then I just go, oh, nope. No more for you.
See, and that's what I mean. There's the nostalgia thing. Like when I like Hearthstone was based off, like you know, I guess the nostalgia for that is World of Warcraft. But
right,
for me, there wasn't a nostalgia. It was just more of like a different, you know, a different kind of card. So I guess there's just different reasons to, and maybe that's why I do go back to Magic, and now you can play it on all types of devices. But yeah, I'd agree. I think there's definitely a way they could resurrect some of these other games. Maybe not make it as predatory as free to play, but that would be awesome. You know?
Yeah, 100%. So, but I mean, I don't know. Like I'm missing.
See, that's what I mean. Though that does suck. Though, like here you're enjoying this game, you said you played for 7, and then it just like it gets shut down and it goes away. It's like, oh.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and that game was like, you know, it was one of those things where you think, kind of like to your Magic example, where you had spent some money on it. Like if I added it all up, it was probably $200-300 I put in that game, you know, over the course of the 7 years, and you know, it was just like, man, you know, like, and all of the things that you do, like all the little things that you could collect, and you know, you have these weapons you can level up and all that kind of stuff. I was that guy, you know, like I did the free to play route mostly, but I was that guy that when you looked at anyone took a look at my account, I had most of one of the good weapon things that you have in the game. And then my parties were all set up the right way. I was in all these different message boards trying to figure out strategies, how to beat these bosses and stuff. Like, you know, I was in all the way. But
it's a shame because some people may say, well, hey, at least you got your money worth of entertainment value. Yeah, and you probably did, but that doesn't make up for it going down. You know what I mean? So
exactly. So anyway, you know, dead card games, dead online games, you know, sometimes there's fans out there, and hopefully someone will figure out a way to bring some of that stuff back.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem and the risk with playing online like multiplayer only games like that. That's always the risk, right? The servers or something go down, and it's.
That's right. So, all right, cool. So let's move into like some, I guess, like, you know, some final thoughts. We're over an hour 17 now, but I do have a thing in final thoughts that I do want to make sure that I say. I was supposed to do like some kind of mini video, but I couldn't figure out how to do it in a short, and I don't know. Maybe I'll do 2 videos tomorrow on it or something. Some kind of reminder will go out on the channel. But I didn't forget, and I know I didn't mention it on the Evercast last Saturday, so my bad. And I didn't have a single video on my channel outside of the Evercast for 5 weeks, so also my bad, except for the fact that my computer blew up. But this Sunday, I will be at MetLife Stadium. And normally that just means, oh, I'm going to a Jets game. But this Sunday, it means I'm going to be in a purple shirt with the Atari Creeps name on it, pitching the Walk to End Alzheimer's 2022 efforts. And then I will participate in a walk where I will physically walk all the way around the outer rim of MetLife Stadium, which is around just under a mile, from 50-yard line all the way around the building to the same place.
Is that going to be live, or is that going to be a video that will be coming?
I will record it, and then I will put out video the next following week. There'll be a series where I'll do like an intro. I'll do 4 points, and I will say some cool things about either sports or, you know, like first experience going to a game or whatever, and you know, all sorts of fun stuff. But if for whatever reason, the 6 of you that are watching, or the you know, several people that thank you that come by and watch on replay, if for whatever reason you happen to be either a Jets or Patriots fan, and are gonna be at MetLife, keep your eyes peeled to parking lot J. Well, there'll be a van And in that van will be me and my brother-in-law and a special guest. His name is Retro Advisory Board. And we will be there hanging out, asking people to play this.
That's awesome.
Evercade, right? And what are we going to be asking them to play? Well, it's the Atari Creeps walk. So we're going to be playing some Atari games. And the cool thing about this is I'm just going to give a player, whoever it is, a cartridge and to go, you know what, pick a game and try to get whatever high score. You get 5 minutes. We're going to do 5-minute score challenges, all right, at the van table.
And you can go up to random people, right? I guess that's.
I am just going to pull random people. Try to get it. I'm trying to get an even amount of Jets jersey people, even amount of Pats jersey people, and then we're going to play Team Atari Creep versus Team Bacon Ice Cream. All right, and anytime you play, don't ask them to play Premier Soccer 97. No, Atari games only, Crow. Atari only. Oh
So
man, that hits me right in the heart, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You should check out the Atari Creeps channel. He does a walk every year to honor his father who passed from Alzheimer's, and his uncle who also passed. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, it's awful stuff. But I mean, the organization is making great strides. Since I've been helping him, we've been doing this for 3 years. Since I've been helping him, the Alzheimer's organization has actually been making like some really strong headwinds and some treatments that can slow the progress.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, do they have like medication or something that can like? I mean,
yeah,
there's no cure yet that can like at least like slow it. So
Yeah, there are two medications that are in like pre-trial and pre-approval stages from the FDA right now in the United States, and the second one actually I think just cleared a pretty major hurdle. So they're going to be doing some really awesome things with that soon, I hope. But I mean, the organizations like that, they always need funding, and that's why we do these things, right? We're trying to get people to toss in a couple ducats maybe, and try to build awareness by just doing funny things like showing up in a giant parking lot, have people would play Evercade. But no one else knows this, except for maybe Ed. I might have told him this backstage, but on Saturday, right after the Evercast, a box is going to show up at my house. And in the box is going to be a random assortment of games, because I decided, because it just fate struck, I decided to purchase the box of junk edited from Video Games Monthly. They put out on their page yesterday, hey, anyone that says I want a box of junk, and it wasn't junk, it was actually the S word there, trying to keep this family friendly.
Right.
You actually had to type, I want a box of blank
shiitake mushrooms
in the chat. And then they sent you a PayPal thing. It was like, hey, here's an invoice, here's some money, and then we send you 40 games in a box. It was just over $50. So so
it's like $1 game.
Yeah, $60 shipping or something like that. But 40 games in a box. I have no idea what they are, how they are, whatever. But that box is coming with me to MetLife. So as a thank you for anyone that wants to play one of these games, I'm actually just going to put like a cover on or a plastic bag or whatever. And I'm just going to say, hey, put your hand in the box, grab a game, game's yours.
So question, who's going to be filming? Who's going to be
so my brother-in-law Keith is going to be there. I'm going to be there, and of course Rab's going to be there. So we're just going to pass around my phone, because that's what I'm going to be doing.
Nice. I only ask because sometimes for stuff like that, like if I need something, I'll go to my daughter, because I know my wife doesn't care what I do, but she doesn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah,
so.
And all the walk segments, I think I'm going to have to rely on my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Because I'm up in the 300s, and my buddies has his season tickets in a different section or whatever. So once we get in, it'll be like, oh hey, have a good game and all that kind of stuff.
Ooh.
I will I will make a video. I will make an unboxing video, and I'll shoot it before I go out, and then I'll go over all that stuff in the unboxing. But I'll share it after the event, just to be like, hey, what did people randomly win? And then I'll do another one at the end, and it'd be like, how many are left, right? The goal hopefully will be like, I just give them all away. But
I think if the retro gods smile upon you and like there's like a copy of something like Streets of Rage 2, I think you need to set that aside for yourself. Just saying.
It's they said they might be putting in gems in there.
I'm just saying, if there is, you're getting 40 plus. If there was a few of those gems, you have a Retron.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's very true.
Especially if there's some Master System or game, you need to rescue those. I don't, That's
they're all handheld titles. I do know that.
Ooh.
So it's Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Master System, or Game Gear, and I think up to DS maybe. But anyway, like I said, it's just a box. It's going to show up, but it's on the way, and I didn't think it was going to come. I bought it today, and I was like, it's not going to show up before this. They said it will be here at the door by midday on Saturday, and I'm like, all right, man, let's go. If it doesn't show up, though, I will tell people about that. But anyway, it's a great cause. It's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna do some more due diligence for my buddy.
Yeah. I would be excited to see more videos from your channel. I know life gets in the way, but
yes, cool yeah. Well, I mean, I can't wait to actually do more, for real.
Yeah.
I
aren't
can't
you 40 subs away from
my computer back?
Aren't you 40 subs away from 1,000 to get monetized? So it's you're so close.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I am. Yeah, that is another thing. That's true. Let's see. Where is he? He's in here. The champions list. He's always in here because he does a whole bunch of really awesome stuff. There it is. Here it is. This is the direct link to his All Summer's page.
So
here's
my question for you. When you go to tell people, you're going to say, hey, you want to play, I have a YouTube channel, you want to play a game here for 5 minutes, and then everybody who plays gets a game, or are you going to tell them that afterwards, or is it going to depend upon?
I think I'll tell them that ahead of time.
Yeah, give them an incentive.
But obviously the first question is hey, I'm shooting this video for a cool cause, and I'm going to point at my shirt. Do you want to do something? And then hopefully they'll just be like, yes, absolutely. And that'd be really, really cool.
Nice. So go to that link.
Yes, go to that link. And I don't think did he get a custom URL? I don't think he did.
I was gonna say, could they put a longer They put a longer URL. Screenshot that.
Yeah, I mean it's he hasn't done a video like a big video this year on his channel for it. So let me see. Let me just go to,
actually, you know what? Through the power of technology, you can do that. We should put that in the description and make that a pinned comment. There we go.
Oh yeah. So his YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff. I will. You know what?
Yeah.
I will do that. I'll put all that stuff in there.
Because that's cool that people see this for awareness, but just to click on to get to, it's not practical unless you're through the web browser here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but we'll have the links there.
Yep. Yeah, no worries. And thank you, Drew Rocket, for even checking that out. That is the wrong link. That's not what I wanted. He does have a custom URL. It is just simply youtube.com/the. Sorry, free. He's a good guy. So anyway, that was that for me. I can't wait. I can absolutely not wait to do this because it's going to require so much editing that even though between December or October 30th and the following November 4th, I might not actually be in the I might not have enough produced to actually put out there. That following week though, I will have enough time to edit everything, and it'll just be
that does take a lot of time because you want to have the camera. It's you'll do cuts between talking to certain people, their reactions,
yep,
playing the game,
Yep.
And all that type of stuff. People reaching in the bin. Yeah, that's a huge. I commend you, sir. That's a huge project, but it'll be great. I can't wait to.
I can't wait. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So.
And isn't there going to be also like some type of giveaway on Evercast?
Yeah, that's the following week. So not November 4th, because I know I'm not going to have enough time to get it all edited, or November 5th. I'm sorry. It will be November 12th. November 12th on the Evercast. There will be a giveaway. And what will I be giving away? One of these. It's an Atari VCS.
Purple edition.
It is a one-of-the-kind Walk to End Alzheimer's 2022 edition, painted by none other than the Atari Creep.
So you know what's funny about that, and I'm glad y'all chose Atari because, like, they're cool with it. Sega would be cool with it, but like, let's say that was a Swish or something, I could see like Nintendo being like, we don't Nintendo don't do that. You know what I mean? Like Nintendo that would be like lame if they tried to come out, but they do weird. They're weird. Like it's like
they do kind of weird things like that. Yes. But you know what? I'm like, no, like I'm the end user. I get to do what I want.
See that? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But they're. But yeah, yep. No, I think that's awesome. And
so anyway, yeah, it's good stuff. And thanks for listening to all that stuff.
I think too, before you give away that console, you should get some shots of it like in the light. Like
you know what I should bring into the office?
Yeah,
they got a lot of good rooms in there that can get great lighting in. I should bring it to the office and try to shoot.
Because unless when you really hold it up and we can see it, but that way then people will see, hey, this isn't just a VCS. Check it out in the light. Look how cool. Do it. Do it justice.
I just got a text message that says I should probably get upstairs.
Alrighty, so yeah, we need to wrap things up. Just real quick. So on Monday, I'm coming out with my top 5 Halloween themed Evercade games. So
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Oh, speaking of, there's another video that I might want to do about a top 5 list. I want to respond to a top 5 list that actually just came out. I might do that as a short.
Ooh.
So anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's very cool. I'm looking forward to this top 5 list of Halloween.
Yeah, it'll come out on Monday. Number 1 might not be what people think it is, and I'll have like a little Halloween intro. Oh, so fun fact about Crow, I used to say those. So I did a YouTube short, and I posted this chat like Happy Halloween thing, which is really cool, and like. Somebody commented and they said like, "Hey, you really outdid yourself," and I just liked it. But like, I can't. That's not my house. That's like not my house. That is a house in my neighborhood. And when I go for my walks early in the morning, sometimes if I'll like take a picture of it. But yeah, I can't take credit for that. I mean, I just put the Halloween music to it. I wish that was my house, but hey, it's something that's like that's Halloween themed. Now the one on my channel that I put like with the red eyes. That's actually from like a skull that's hung on the inside of our door. Except I just like with filtering it through the YouTube app, like through the YouTube Shorts. I just made it so you could just see the eyes to make it look weird.
Very cool.
So yeah, that'll come out midnight Monday mornings. I wanted to have a Halloween themed thing actually released on Halloween, and yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, see you, Lloyd, and that's it. I think that wraps it up for tonight. Thanks so much, everybody, for hanging with us. It was an awesome show. Thanks so much for being in there and being an awesome part of this chat. Welcome to everyone new. Hope you guys. We are a bi-weekly show, so not this next Thursday, but the following Thursday. Mostly, we will be back chatting all sorts of cool retro topics. You got some other stuff that you want us to talk about? Hey, you know what? Hit us up in the comments. There are some topics out there. You never know. You never know what we're going to talk about in this place. It's awesome. So. Without all that being said, we will catch you next time. And see you later.
Bye-bye.
Call Retro Gamers!
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.